Okay, so hi, it's Sally from Core Contact Therapy in Bristol, and I'm joined by the amazing Teresa Oates from Southfield Running Club, and I'm going to ask her a series of questions on mindset to do with running. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I've treated a number of runners over the years, and one of the biggest things I've noticed is how differently everyone talks about running. But most of what I hear is kind of negativity around running and racing, but also how hard racing is. And I hear a lot about people beating themselves up about running, especially if they don't get maybe a PB, or I hear a lot about them hitting the wall and not being able to perform to what they think they can perform to. And a lot of the time I just think, I wonder what that person might have performed like if they were thinking slightly differently and had maybe a different approach to the race that they were about to perform in. And one of the people that has struck me over the last couple of years is Teresa, and I'm going to speak to her and ask her a few questions, and hopefully you'll see why I picked Teresa and why she, I think, would be an amazing inspiration to a lot of people and to a lot of runners. Because she has done so many races and is very experienced in running, hopefully some of these questions will help you understand a little bit why I've why I've decided to speak to Teresa today. So Teresa Oates from Southfield Running Club, say hello.
Hello.
And what I wanted to do, just how old are you? Have you got kids, and what's your job? Like, what's your general sort of day-to-day activity?
Okay. I've got a full-time job. I'm 53, married, 2 children. Children are grown up now, so they're 23 and 26. And I'm HR and payroll officer for a local company.
Amazing. So you're not a full-time athlete in any way. So you just got a job, got the kids, and got a lot going on. Yeah. So how long have you been running for?
I think my first step into running was 1999. Okay. And I did Race for Life, 5k.
5k. Do you remember it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And you enjoyed it?
Yeah, started off like everyone else, looking at the plan they sent me and my friend, and did walk to run. So walk for a minute, run a minute, and gradually built up from there. And the goal was to run all the way around, and we did. So
perfect.
Pleased to be.
So that was 1999. 99. Yeah. Okay. And how often do you go running at the moment? What would you say?
Probably 3 to 4 times a week.
3 to 4 times a week. Yeah. So you do maybe like a longer runs at weekends and things like that?
Yeah, so I go to club twice a week, and then sometimes it's park run on Saturday, either racing or a long run on a Sunday, or combine the two.
And we're going to talk about marathons, and I know we're going to talk about how many marathons you've done in a minute. But when was your first marathon? When did you do that?
In 2001. So from the 5k, I enjoyed running from then. Thought that's something I want to do. Built up to the Bristol Half in 1999. And then I was lucky enough to get a London place in 2001.
So you kind of got the place, yes. And then had to start training for the London Marathon. Amazing. And do you remember it?
I do, yes. What's something different about now when you get into London? Back then you didn't hear until the end of the year, until December. So really you only had from January to April to train.
Oh my God.
Whereas now you find it in October.
Wow.
So, it's sort of a little bit longer to train, longer to think about it and prepare. So it was solid 4 months of training
just
with 2 young children at the time, 7 and 10. I remember it was very hard work.
Amazing. And so tell everyone what number marathon you were on now.
New Year's Eve I just did number 55.
55 marathons, and also that's not including half marathons.
No, I don't know.
You don't know. I lost count of half marathons. Yeah. But when you did that London Marathon and you did that first marathon, did you ever think, yes, I want to do another marathon? And how did it lead on almost a little bit into like where you are now? Do you think it's more just did you enjoy it so much, or has it just become almost like a bug?
Well, back then, I prepared well, I did all my training, and most of my daytime and evening training was on my own. I didn't belong to a club or anything. My long runs were with my brother, who'd got a place that year as well. So I remember the day vividly, and I was prepared, quite quiet, very nervous on the start line, and you hear that London Marathon music, Brendan Foster, you know, on the speaker, butterflies in the tummy. My goal was just to try and get round and run as much as I could. Apart from a quick toilet break, that's what I did. And walking a few steps to take on water. And I finished and I was absolutely shattered and thought, never again.
Never again.
Never again. And it was another 9 years before I did my next marathon.
So 9 years from marathon 1 to now number 53. So if you thought you were going to give up after marathon 1, maybe rethink again, because you might end up doing as many marathons as Teresa had. So what made you, so you had a 9-year break from marathons?
I was still doing 10Ks and halves.
Yeah.
But I think looking back at the time with the children younger, it was managing my time to get out and run. So I'd have to wait till my husband came home if I could go out and do evening runs. But I followed the programme properly and just thought, you know, I can't do that at the moment.
Yeah.
At the time my husband was working away, so there were some nights I couldn't go out.
Yeah.
But then as they've got older, I joined a running club, met some friends, and we thought, should we have another go? So then 2010 I did Berlin, and the whole family went over. I was running with my brother and another friend. So the three of us supported each other in our training, and it was a lot more enjoyable. It was a different experience altogether, and I loved it.
Yeah,
and I got past that, ran all the way round. I did, you know, all the training was in place, so I felt confident, and I got a sub-4, and I was just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, 9 years later. So obviously you run with people, you had a much better experience of it, and then obviously from there that sort of egged you on to start doing a few more races and keep going with that.
Yeah.
And what, in terms of preparing for a marathon, obviously you do your running, you know, you stick to a regime, you know what you need to do to complete the race. But in terms of like mentally, what keeps you going in terms of getting out the door and being sort of, I suppose, thinking about a race? Because a lot of the time for people it can be quite, it's a long distance, and can be quite a bit overwhelming, I suppose.
Yeah.
But what makes you, do you think there's anything that you do differently that makes you think positively, or?
You know, sometimes on the evening when it's raining, you think, I don't really fancy going out. But I think belonging to a club helps anyway, because it's like a social side of things, and you've arranged to meet people, so you don't want to let anybody down. And the same that you can, you know, use those group of people for your long training on a weekend.
Yeah.
So it's good to plan it. You're planning how many miles you're going to go, which route you're going to take, and you know, to have that scheduled in, you just stick to it really.
Don't think about it. Just do it.
Don't think about it. I know that on Sunday I'm doing this, and I'm going there, and I'm, you know, so all that helps to have that in place.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just sort of follow that really.
And is there anything you do on race day when you're starting on that, when you're at that start line of that marathon? What's like, are you thinking about the end? Like, is it the end goal you're thinking about? Do you think about time, or is it a mixture of different things?
It's a mixture depending on which sort of race it is. I think trail races are much different completely different to road racing. But yeah, I still, you know, even though I've done 55, I get on the start line and I still get butterflies, I get nervous, and you're thinking, have I got everything with me? Have I got my bar, water if I'm carrying it, backpack if it's, you know, hydration pack if it's trail. So yeah, I still have those nervous, but I think that's quite good because it gives you that buzz.
Yeah.
And I don't think about the end. I'm thinking, you know, mile to mile, and as the race goes through, you know, you get halfway, so that's a good milestone. You get past 17 miles, and then you're down to single figures. Then I think it's a 10k, then it's a park run, and I know I can do that.
Oh, brilliant! I like that.
So you know, and then
so
you think, right, a couple of miles left. Oh, that's round the block. That's 25 minutes. So we're nearly there.
So you've broken it down into chunks almost, like you've got it down to the 10k, the 5k, like you said, thinking about a park run. Oh, you know you can do that, and you've got it down and down. Yeah. Brilliant. So taking away the distance and making it into, like, I suppose, bite-sized chunks.
Yes,
isn't it?
Yeah. And it's different when you do ones abroad because they're in K.
Okay.
And there's more of them because there's 42, but they go quicker.
So
that's a different mindset as well.
Yeah.
And I've only recently started to do a few laps marathons.
Yeah.
And some people, I wouldn't like to do laps going round and round. But if you're counting 5 laps, you're only counting up to 5. You're not counting on lap 3 what mileage you're on. Just that you're ticking off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in actual fact, that's a bit easier on the mindset of thinking. it's not 26 miles, it's just 5 laps.
5 laps. Yeah. So it makes it a lot easier to think
and
about.
you know, every fifth lap you're going to get to that aid station. There's going to be fuel and water and squash, hydration, toilet if you need to jump out quickly. But yeah, that's certainly
way different way of thinking about it. And another thing, one of the things you said to me a while ago, which I always tell people this, is you said to me once, I can't remember which marathon it was last year, but you did a race and it was, you said you didn't want the race to end because the scenery was so beautiful and you were enjoying the run so much. And I've never heard anyone say that, or say that they didn't want a marathon run to end. And in terms of, do you feel like you get that experience a lot in terms of running now, and you appreciate maybe it's because of your experience in it, you've done it a lot, is it, where does that happen all the time? And do you think people don't really maybe necessarily realise what's going on around them in terms of where they are and what they're doing, and appreciate the environment and things like that?
I remember that when it was Salisbury.
So that's it.
In August.
In Through the Meadows.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. It was sunny, not too hot, very comfortable running conditions. And I remember that when I was in the toilet queue waiting with this other lady. We've done this one before, a similar sort of conversation. And I love trail, she said. I said, no, I'm not very keen. I said, I prefer road. Now, back then, at the start of the race, I never thought I would be thinking, 2 miles to go, I don't want it to finish. I was having such a lovely time, meeting lovely people along the way.
Yeah.
It was beautiful scenery, going through country meadows, you could hear the tractors going, you could smell the grass. It was just, the scenery, looking over from the top of the hill, it was beautiful. And I thought, this is what it's all about. I wasn't worried about the time, I was just enjoying the whole race and chatting to a few people I recognised along the way. And when it finished, you come into Salisbury, past the cathedral, along the river, and it was just beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing about running. It takes you around, like you said, in a lot of different cities or different countries, and you get to see and experience a lot of things. You see lots of things that you would never normally see. But sometimes do you think people can get kind of bogged down into the pain or suffering of running? I think you said to me once, you were running past a guy and you said, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm struggling a bit here. I'm not, or this is hard work, or when's this going to end?" And you were, I'm, having a great time. And so people can feel very different, can't they? In terms of,
and there are times when I do feel like that, and it does make a difference if someone says, "Oh, how are you feeling? Keep going, keep going. You're doing really well." And you think, well, actually, I'm 19. I've done the worst of it. And they do vary. The weather, I've been soaking wet, freezing cold, exhausted, and still got 5 miles to go. But you dig deep and you find that in you. And if you've got people around you as well, that makes one hell of a difference.
Yeah.
You get there.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, what would be your 3 top tips to enjoy running?
It's quite a hard one, actually. I think be prepared, and 26.2 miles is a long way.
Yeah.
Respect the miles.
Yeah.
Take it seriously. So you've prepared, you've trained well, so you should be confident as you get on that start line. And just enjoy it. Look around and take it all in. I don't worry too much about the seconds and minutes, although if I do get a good time, it's fantastic, and that's a boost. But just enjoy the whole experience, and if it's been a bad race, try and learn from that and do things a little bit differently next time.
Yeah. So don't give up altogether.
No.
So if you've done one marathon and it was hell, I think you can hear from Teresa that don't give up on doing another race, but because by the sounds of it, they just get better and better. Thank you for that, Teresa. Hopefully that will give you a great insight into someone who's very experienced in marathon runners and done obviously a lot of runs. So if you would like if you've got any questions for us or any questions for Teresa, feel free to comment below or give me an email and I'll pass them on to Teresa. But hopefully she's been a great inspiration for you, for anyone who's about to race or do racing. Think about what's going on up here, not just about the training. Obviously that's a huge important part of it, but also the mindset is definitely a key factor in keeping positive and making sure sure you have a good experience throughout your time. So
Good luck.
okay, yeah, good luck. Yeah, thanks. Let us know how you get on. Bye.